Hello and welcome to the Greedy for Knits podcast. This is episode 4 and I'm Mala, biologist by job but also a dedicated knitter, and I really like talking about yarns and knitting. That's why I'm here, and of course I appreciate you being here and spending your time with me. Today it will be kind of regular episode with finished objects and works in progress and so on. So if you are interested to watch it, please make yourself cozy and let's start. I would like to start today with finished object, quite traditionally, and the first finished object is any sleepover from Sunless Card booklet, and in particular from this booklet. This is famous booklet and popular one. And this pattern, the Emma Sleepover pattern, even more famous, I guess, because according to Ravelry, it was made more than 800 times by knitters from all over the world. And quite a few of them are podcasters, and I watch the podcast. I saw their Emma Sleepovers and I got jealous, and I decided that I need to make one too. Actually, I was talking quite a lot about this project in episode 2, so I don't want to repeat that much of information about it. If you will be interested, you can watch episode 2. But in a couple of words, I just mentioned that in a sleepover, it's woolly layering piece for the colder time, let's say. And initially this pattern calls for fingering weight yarn held together with mohair, but I went on my own, by my own way, and I use this kind of yarn. This is blend of merino wool and Suffolk wool, and this yarn is from one of my favorite Lithuanian yarn shops. It's called Yarn Home. I mentioned them quite several times in my podcast, but anyway, I will link down below the information about their Etsy shop and also about this particular yarn. This colorway, I'll show it again. This colorway is Blue Melange, and I bought 3 skeins of it. Each skein was 100 gram and 320 meters, and this is only amount which is left after knitting this Emmy sleepover. I will show you the sleepover on me just a little later, maybe. I really liked working with that particular yarn because it's easy to knit with, it's not splitty, and it gives very nice stitch definition. And actually when you touch the skin, it actually gives you a feeling of that kind of rustic woolly wool, but somehow it's quite skin friendly. At least it didn't cause any problems with my neck skin, and my neck skin is quite bigger. So all compliments to this yarn, and I will be definitely use it in another project. But now I want to show you the result of my knitting, my Emmy sleepover. So you can see it's I have 2 pieces knitted seamlessly, and then you have to tie those ties and make this kind of balls. I don't think I can show it like that really qualitatively, so probably I will insert another video when all the details, let's say, of Emmy sleepover will be shown better. But what I wanted to discuss is how do I feel exactly about this particular project, about this particular sleepover. From one side, yes, it is warm and it's suitable, and it was really saving me during colder days because we had quite cold winter this year. And of course there will be really suitable thing when the general heating will be switched off here in Lithuania. I will be using it a lot at home, and I kind of like how it looked and how it feels, but again I'll stand those bows, these ties, it takes ages to tie neatly. I mean, it took from me time, probably I could make a sleeve for the sweater. So once you get this done neatly, just leave it. Don't untie them to prevent the future struggles. And another thing which I don't know how to deal with, I still cannot figure out how to wear these bows under the coats, because they producing their own architectural forms, like not equal surfaces of the coat, or I don't know how to describe it. I mean, they seam through the coat. They make coat look strange, I would say. So far, the sleepover didn't leave the apartment. Maybe it would be nice to take in a bag to the office and wear in the office on the colder days. But at my job, we have quite a dress code. We have to wear medical scrubs or medical gowns. So I don't have office clothes, neither than mentioned. So this sleepover was still living at home, at my apartment. So to resume, it is interesting, it may be kind of stylish and warm and kind of suitable, but I'm not sure how versatile it is. And I don't know, I'm quite not sure if I will knit it again, even though I was so charmed previously by another knitter's projects. Okay, before proceeding with another finished object or works in progress, I need to take it off, because it's maybe not very versatile, but it's definitely very, very warm. The next finished object is a pair of simple vanilla socks. These were my Christmas custom, and I deliberately made them plain and simple because of the yarn. The yarn is Amber Tone Superwash sock yarn, 75% of superwash merino and 25% of nylon, 100 gram for 125 meters, and this is colorway Pavlova Dreams, and it's absolutely beautiful. You could see all that shades of purple, pink, milky, yellow and orange, and all together they mix so well, and they do all the job to make the sock already beautiful. So I was afraid if I add a stitch pattern, it will kind of overlap or cover up the beauty of the yarn. So back to the socks. They are knitted top down, starting from the calf and towards to the toe. They have French heel, I don't know if it's possible to see, with reinforced part. So nothing complicated, because all I wanted is just sit back, have fun, have relaxing knitting, and enjoy the game of shades and this yarn. And actually, Amber Tone is a local Lithuanian yarn dyer, a lovely young lady, Gintarė. She has an Etsy shop and she runs her own knitting podcast, which I really like to watch. I love it. I will link down below both shop and her podcast. The third finished object I actually don't have with me right now, because if you watched episode 2, you remember that I was knitting a Christmas, or rather New Year gift for my colleague Simona. Simona is a very nice person and also wonderful colleague, so I wanted to do something pleasant to her, and I decided to knit her a scarf, which I did. But I was strict on the time, and I was rushing to give it to her, so I was not capable to make photos. Simona was very kind and did photos herself, so I can actually prove for you that I really finished knitting it. I really made this scarf. I'm not just, making it up for several episodes. But story didn't end on that. Simona has a friend who is also a colleague and also is a very nice person. Her name is Alshina. And after some time, I realized that it's slightly unfair to knit a scarf for one friend and not to knit a scarf for another friend. So I asked Alshina what she would like to get, what she would like me to knit for her, and she told me that actually she wants the same scarf as I made for Simona, just in another color. And it is a twiggly scarf by Jennifer Weissman. And since I still have this work in progress, I'm capable to show it to you and to talk about it a little bit more. I already was talking quite a lot about this pattern in the episode 2, so I don't want to repeat the technical information. I will link down the pattern page in Ravelry and also my Twiggly page in Ravelry, so you can see some technical details. I just wanted to show you my progress with Auschwitz scarf and an example of it to show how interesting the construction of this knitted accessory is. So first you have to knit diamond with garter stitch, and after this diamond is completed, the knitter has to pick up the stitches along the edges of this diamond to knit the wings of the scarf. Let's call them wings, I guess it sounds really nice. So as you can see, I already finished both diamond and one of the wings, and it kind of ended with leafy tip. And I'm working on a second wing right now, and as soon as I don't have deadline for it, there is a big chance that I will be able to share the finished twiggly scarf with you. I'm using this yarn for that. This is Lima by Drops. This is the same yarn which I used for Simona's scarf, but in a different color. This color lot is 7810, or it's also called oak moss. And Lima is a mix of wool and alpaca, and 65% of wool and 35% of alpaca. Each ball is 50 grams and 100 meters. I guess you noticed that I jumped from finished object to the works in progress. And the next item in this category would be a garden sweater by Anke Strick pattern. Garden sweater is an oversized and relaxed sweater with dropped shoulders and v-neck, and with some kind of lacy pattern, which gives to the sweater airy and light feel. Again, I was talking about this pattern previously in episode 2 quite a lot, so I don't want to repeat, and I'll just link the pattern page down below. But I want to show you how much of progress I already made with that one. I completed the body, and I just need to make sleeves. And the only modification I made is that instead of holding together light fingering yarn and mohair as originally pattern suggests, I'm using Drops soft wheat yarn. Actually, I got a gauge pretty much easy with using only this yarn, and I really like using this yarn. I really like knitting with tweed at all, but quite often I use exactly this soft tweed because it gives pretty good results, and it's also nice to work with. It's easy to knit with, and it's budget friendly. This is a blend of merino wool, alpaca, and viscose. Let me see, maybe not merino, it's just merino wool. It's 50% of wool, 25% of alpaca, and 25% of viscose. It's quite actually mild, not super soft, but it's nice next to the skin. And this color is, let me see, what is, actually I cannot find it, the information. Oh, I found it, it's 03. This is it, I guess, about this work in progress, and I can proceed to the next one, which is a Berse socks by the pattern of Sadie Nordland. The socks are knitted from cuff toward to the toe. They have French heel with reinforced part, as you can see, and also they featured with some very kind of typical for sari pattern, which it's like lacy and texture pattern, which you use a lot in her poet sweater and also in her poet socks, but yet in Verse socks. This pattern is really fun to knit, but it's really complicated to memorize. The text of pattern actually contains both like written description and charts. I prefer charts, and I have to check the chart all the row, each row. This is one reason, and the second reason is that I chose a quite dark yarn to knit the socks, and during winter it was difficult to find the time with appropriate light to be able to knit such a sophisticated pattern with dark yarns. It wasn't that much of that light. That's why the progress is a little sad. But at least, it's going on. I'm working on it. And I'm really, I lost my stitches. I'm really intended to finish this sock, the second sock. And the last work in progress actually has some kind of prehistory, if possible to say so. This prehistory is about annual market which taking place in Vilnius, and this is Kaziuko Muge, if to say in Lithuanian language, or Kaziukas. And this huge, very impressive markets of crafts or crafters. At that time, this is the first weekend of March, so in that time the city center became pedestrian zone because crafters all over the Lithuania and even from some parts of Latvia are putting their tents in a city, and they sell a lot of goodies. What they produce, what they craft. They can be handmade clothes or leather bags or some kind of jewelries or drinks or food, and also the yarn. And several years ago at such a market, at such a muge, I bought special yarn. This yarn is made from the dog's, how to say, underfur or undercoat. And then when you brush the dog, there is always some kind of small and soft little hair which are growing under the mane fur of the dogs. And in this region, this kind of underfur, this kind of undercoat hairs. They are subject to be, how do I even say it? I don't know, to be spun maybe, yeah, to be spun as a yarn. And many people here believe that this yarn is warmer than regular ship yarn, and actually some people believe that it has some healing features. Nevertheless, actually I have to mention that dogs don't suffer during this process. My particular dog really loves brushing, so I think everything is fine with the process of achieving this hair and producing this yarn. So I bought that kind of yarn, this dog underfur yarn, and the price was so good that I bought 2 kilos. I'm sure when you're the only one can, but I have several of them. And when you touch the skin, it actually feels okay. It feels pretty kind of, no woolly, yes, but not so much woolly, not like critically rustic, not like drastically woolly. But when I knitted sample of it and I washed it, it became quite drastic and quite hard, maybe like a carpet, like a rug, maybe like I don't know, winter coat. So it took several years for me to realize, to understand what exactly I would like to make out of this yarn, out of this big amount which I bought on this famous market. Once, when I was searching through the Pinterest, I found the picture of a coat. I guess this is a picture from one of, I don't know, knitting magazine, maybe from France or from Italy, I don't know. Unfortunately, but I really liked this coat, and I decided this would be exactly the model for this yarn. Unfortunately, I could not find this magazine. I cannot find a description how to knit this particular coat, but I decided that I'm not giving up and I'm gonna figure it out how to knit this. I'm gonna knit it on my way, as I imagine. As you remember, if you watched the previous episode, that as much as I love knitting, I don't like sewing parts of knitted garments, so I decided that I'm casting on all together the back and both front parts, front panels, just separating them with stitch markers. That's exactly what I've done. This is the second stitch marker. I am sorry, this is so huge, so it doesn't fit, maybe, but it will be fit like that. And I also made little holes for the future buttons. I don't know if it's possible to see. And there are also some holes below. So this is my progress with this project on the moment. And I guess I will just knit it straight until the armholes will start. Then I separate back and front panels and knit each of 3 parts separately, back and front. Then I will sew the shoulder seams and pick up the stitches along the armholes and knit them by round seamlessly as well. The only thing which scares me a little bit on that way is how to knit this very well shaped collar. But I think I'll figure it out. I have a similar like store-bought coat with a similar shape of collar. So I guess I will be just looking at it and trying to see what to do to achieve desired collar shape. So this is pretty much it with my works in progress. And the only thing which I wanted to talk to you a little bit more is my yarn acquisitions. And for this I have to get back to speaking about Kazuka about this crafters market, because this year I went there again, and even though I told myself, no, Allah, you're not gonna buy any yarns, I did. I bought there 3 yarns. 2 of them are similar, let's say, similar type of threads, and the third one is a little thicker yarn. You can see in the picture that there is some kind of wine color yarn, some kind of green or bluish green yarn, and also the blue yarn. So I guess these 2 guys are DK weight yarns, and I bought 2 of green ones and 1 purple one. And I already revamped the blue one, and it's really thick one. I guess it's Aran weight yarn, and it's a little bit more rustic, but I really like the color. And I guess that that will be a winter socks for my husband to walk the dog, because he walk the dog really long time, like 3 hours or so. He drives an electrical bicycle and he attached the dog, and they go like that to explore the territories surrounding the city, surrounding the Vilnius. So sometimes when it's like minus 20 outside and it's quite warm and thick sock, and I guess that will work perfectly. And what to do with those 2? I don't know yet, but I will decide. We shall see. And all of them are just 100% wool yarn. I bought them from the farmer, from the lady, and she could not tell me exactly the meterage, unfortunately, but she knew the weight of this skeins. This skein is 200 grams, and the blue one actually is a 300 grams skein. So now I have to decide how to use those. Maybe a shawl? I don't know. We shall see, as I already told you. If you have something in mind, please don't hesitate to let me know. You can write a comment, you can write me a private message on Instagram. I would be glad to hear your opinion. I would be really interested to know what would you suggest me to knit. And I guess this is it, what I wanted to share with you today. I really appreciate you watching this episode. I really appreciate you stay with me, being with me, supporting me. And if you enjoyed, please press the like button, subscribe, or write a comment. This will really help for a channel to grow, and that will warm my soul a lot, of course. And I wish you a nice day and a nice season and a lot of enjoyable knitting. And I hope to see you again in this podcast. Bye.